Fingers hover over a screen. The same name, the same message, opened once more. Hours slip by. Unnoticed, nothing shifts. The mind replays a moment, a word spoken too softly, a silence too heavy, a door that closed without a whisper of why. It's not about them. It's the loop, overthinking what's already gone. Each glance at the past, a step deeper into regret, a thread pulling tighter around the chest. Why? Return to what's dead. What's gained by tracing pain that refuses to answer? The mind insists. It's searching for clarity, for closure, for something to make the hurt make sense. It's not. It's carving the wound wider, etching it into the system's frame. What if closure is just another trap? The urge to understand, to explain, to hold on. It feels like control, like holding the reins of a runaway thought. It's not. It's a chain, cold and unyielding. Every time the phone lights up, every time the memory stings, the same choice repeats: wreaked or pause. Most choose the first, most stay trapped, circling the same hurt, the same unanswered question. The mind runs, but it doesn't move forward. It sinks, tethered to a moment that no longer exists. The cost isn't loud. It's silent, insidious. Each loop erodes awareness, a slow bleed of presence. Each check, each scroll, buries stillness deeper, like sand over stone. The system inside frays, not from their absence, but from the refusal to let go. Pain doesn't need a reason to linger. It only needs permission, and every glance grants it. The damage isn't in what they did. It's in what's done now, in the quiet moments, alone, when the mind could choose differently. It could choose to stop, to breathe, to unhook from the pull of what's lost. But it doesn't. Not yet. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." The hurt, it's not the event. It's the attention fed to it, the space it's given to grow. The mind, it can choose to release, to let the weight slip through its fingers. It can choose silence, over chasing shadows that cast no light. That choice, it's not loud, not triumphant. It's a shift, a cold, deliberate turn toward what remains. It's a refusal to let pain write the story. Is it them being chased, or the pain being held onto? The mind runs its loops, thinking it's solving, thinking it's close to truth. It's not. It's repeating, retracing the same grooves, the same loss, dressed in new moments. What's seen as strength is often just clinging, a desperate grip on a ghost. What's seen as searching is often just avoiding the truth that sits heavy in the chest. The truth that their absence doesn't define. The truth that the hurt doesn't own. The next move isn't a reaction. It's a choice. A cold, clear line drawn in the mind. A step towards stillness, not chaos. Why open the message again? What shifts? Does it erase the loss? The screen glows. Same words. Same silence. Etched in pixels that don't change. Why check their story? Does it explain the rejection? Each tap, a step into the maze. Walls rising higher with every swipe. What's gained by replaying their voice? Does it undo the pain? The mind spins, chasing shadows that don't answer, chasing echoes that don't speak. Why wait for a reply? What changes if it comes? The urge to know, is it truth or just clinging? Every scroll, every pause, every glance, the same question, unanswered. Why hold on? The loop doesn't solve, it buries. Awareness fades, not because they left, but because the mind stays, tethered to a moment that's no longer real. Each revisit, a weight added to the system, a crack in the frame. The phone hums, the reflex pulls. Open it, check it, Know it, but knowing, it's not freedom. It's a cage. Detach or drown. The choice isn't theirs. It's here, now, in the quiet where the mind can see the trap or repeat it. Lesson 1. The trap of explanation. Words, form, a flood, waiting to spill. The urge to make them see, to justify, to lay bare the hurt. It surges hot and relentless. A message half-typed, fingers trembling over keys, trying to pin down why their silence cuts so deep. Explain. The mind demands it, as if words could bridge the void, as if their understanding could soothe the pain. The reflex is automatic. To speak, to defend, to prove the hurt wasn't deserved, wasn't earned. But what's gained? Nothing. Each sentence sent another thread tying the mind to their indifference, another knot around the chest. Each attempt to be heard, a weight on a system already buckling under the strain. The cost isn't in their silence. It's in the energy spent chasing it, the hours lost crafting arguments that land on deaf ears. Every explanation, a surrender of self-command, a crack in the foundation of control. The mind spins, replaying their words, their absence, searching for the phrase that will unlock their remorse, their care. It doesn't come. It never does. Instead, the loop tightens, pulling the mind deeper into regret, not for what they did, but for the time, the effort, the pieces of self given to a void that doesn't answer. The system phrase, not because they left, but because the mind keeps knocking on a door that's locked, barred, gone. Epictetus said, "No one can harm you unless you consent." Their actions, they're outside, fleeting, powerless without permission. The harm, it's in the consent to let pain drive, to let their silence steer. To explain is to beg. To beg is to lose the edge of inner weight, to hand over the reins to someone who doesn't care to hold them. The mind can choose to withdraw, to hold the line, to let their silence sit unanswered, heavy in its own emptiness. That choice, it's not weakness. It's a blade, cold and sharp, cutting the tether to their control. What's the alternative? To keep speaking, to keep pleading, to keep feeding a void that swallows without giving back. The reflex to explain. It's a trap, promising resolution, but delivering only numbness, a dull ache where clarity could stand. Look closer. Every word sent is a choice to stay trapped, to stay tethered to their frame. Every unsent message, a step toward freedom, a reclaiming of ground. Stop, delete the draft. Breathe through, the urge to justify, the need to be understood. It's not truth. It's noise, a distraction from the quiet where the system can reset. The action is simple. Don't send. Withdraw the need to be seen. Let their absence be their answer. Let their silence be their weight. The mind resists. It wants to fight, to prove, to win their care. But winning, it's not their apology, not their understanding. It's the moment the fingers stop typing, the moment the screen goes dark. It's the silence that follows. Not loud, not dramatic, but heavy, with detached strength. That's where the system steadies, where control begins to take root. You don't owe anything. Pain, it's a signal, not a chain. A man sat alone, phone in hand, typing a message to someone who never replied. Hours passed. The words grew sharper, the hurt louder, the screen a mirror of his own. Regret. Then he stopped, deleted it all. The room stayed quiet, the air still. He didn't win their remorse. He won his own stillness, a weightless space where the system could breathe. The reflex to explain this, it's a ghost, haunting the edges of thought. But another trap waits, deeper, quieter. The pull to hold on to what's already gone, to keep it alive in the mind's grip. Lesson 2. Clinging to the past. The mind whispers, just one more look. A text thread, months old, still lingers in the phone, untouched but not forgotten. The words, they don't change, frozen in time, a snapshot of what was. The silence at the end, it doesn't speak, doesn't offer answers. Yet the scroll begins again, eyes tracing every line, every pause, every unsaid thing, as if the past could rewrite itself. Why keep it? The heart says it's memory, a piece of what mattered. The mind knows. It's a chain, heavy and unyielding. Clinging, it feels like holding ground, like preserving something sacred. It's not. It's sinking. A slow descent into a moment that no longer exists. The voice inside asks, what if I forget them? As if forgetting erases meaning, as if holding on keeps anything but pain alive. The reflex is subtle. A quick glance at a saved photo, a note tucked away, a memory replayed in the quiet of the night. But it's a loop, relentless, pulling the mind back to a place it can't change. Each return, another layer of regret, another weight on a system straining to move forward. The cost isn't in their absence, it's in the refusal to release, to let the past dissolve into what it is, gone. The past, it's a weight the mind chooses to carry, a burden it doesn't need. The truth cuts. Nothing changes by looking back. The message won't rewrite itself, their silence won't break, the moment won't return. The mind spins, searching for a reason, a clue, a way to make sense of loss, to hold it close, as if it still matters. But sense, it's not there, not in the past. It's here, in the present, where the mind can choose to stop, to unhook, to delete. The reflex to cling, it's not loyalty, not love. It's denial, a refusal to face the void where something new could grow. Seneca wrote, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. The past, it's done, a chapter closed, a door locked. Holding it doesn't keep it alive. It keeps the mind trapped, tethered to a ghost that offers no comfort. The action is clear. Close the thread, delete the photo, clear the note. The heart resists. It calls it betrayal, a loss of what was. It's not. It's freedom, a step toward clarity. Let go, not to forget but to live, to make space for what's now. The voice inside fights. What if I need this later? Need for what? To reopen the wound? To feed the loop? To stay anchored to pain? The mind can choose to stay still, to breathe through the urge, to let the past dissolve like ash in the wind. That choice, it's not loss. It's a reclaiming of ground, a reset of the system. The weight lifts, not all at once, but enough to breathe, enough to see the present clearly. The system steadies, not when the past is understood, but when it's left behind, no longer fed, no longer held. Let go isn't weakness. The phone sits untouched, screen dark, silent. A man walked away from a memory, not because he forgot, but because he chose to SEE. The weight lifted, not fully, but enough to breathe, enough to feel the air clear. He stood in the quiet, not empty, but present. The past pulls, but there's another reflex, louder, hungrier, the need to make them care, to win their glance, their nod, their proof. Lesson 3. Chasing validation. The phone buzzes. A fleeting thought cuts through. Maybe this time they'll see, they'll care. A message sent, casual but calculated, words chosen to spark their notice, hoping for a reply that proves worth, that fills the crack their absence left. Chase. The reflex kicks in, swift and familiar, to reach out, to nudge, to linger in their world, as if their response could mend the ache, could prove something true. One path. Keep texting, keep checking, keep waiting for their nod, their care. It's loud. It feels like effort, like fighting for a place. It's not. It's surrender, a handing over of power, another path, step back. No message, no glance, just silence, heavy and deliberate. One traps, the other frees. Chasing. It promises connection, a bridge across the void. It delivers numbness, a dull weight where hope once stood. Each unanswered text, a fresh sting of rejection, a reminder of what's not given. Each wait for their reply, a theft of awareness, a moment stolen from the present. The mind tells itself, if they respond, it means I'm enough. It means I matter. It's a lie, cold and clear. Their silence, their words, their absence, none of it measures value, none of it defines. The cost is steep, not in their indifference, but in the loss of self-command, in the erosion of the system's core. The mind bends, chasing what's outside, ignoring what's within, losing ground with every step. Seneca said, "You must live for yourself if you would live for others." Their validation. It's not a prize to be won, not a key to unlock worth. It's a chain, binding the mind to their whims, their moods, their silence. To chase is to beg. To beg is to lose the edge of inner weight, to hand over the reins to someone who doesn't see. The mind can choose to disengage, to hold the line, to let their response fade into the noise it is. The action is stark. Don't text. Don't check. Breathe through the urge to reach, to prove. That's not weakness. That's cold peace. A quiet reclaiming of control. The other path, it's loud, chaotic. It's reacting, pleading, proving, chasing their approval as if it could fill the void. It feels alive, but it's a loop, a cycle of loss, repeated with every unanswered try. Look closer. Every chase is the same. Every wait for their reply. Another moment stolen from the now. The mind can shift from seeking their nod to building its own stillness, its own strength. Stop. Close the app. Walk away. The reflex to chase. It's not strength. It's noise, a distraction from the truth that worth isn't theirs to give. Detachment is a form of respect. Old self. They'll reply this time, they'll see me. Stoic self. Their reply changes nothing. Stop. The quiet that follows, it's not defeat. It's presence. The chase. It's a mirage, fading with every step. But there's another reflex. Quieter, heavier. The urge to bury what hurts. To push it down and keep moving. Lesson 4. Suppressing pain. The chest tightens. A familiar sting rises, sharp and uninvited. Words unsaid, moments unhealed. They surface, raw and heavy. The reflex kicks in. Push it down, ignore the ache, keep the surface calm. Suppress. It feels like strength, like holding the system together. It's not. It's a fault line. A crack waiting to split wide. Pain, buried, not banished. It festers, silent, unseen, in tight breaths, in sleepless nights, in a growing numbness that settles like dust. The mind says, don't feel it, don't show it, don't break. As if denial builds walls strong enough to hold, it doesn't. It traps, locking the hurt inside where it grows. The cost isn't in the moment, it's in the buildup, slow and relentless. Each suppressed pang, a seed of anxiety, taking root in the system's core. Each ignored wound, a weight that bends the frame, stealing space where clarity could stand. The body carries it, a knot in the chest, a fog in the mind, a quiet erosion of stillness. The reflex to suppress. It's not control. It's avoidance. A refusal to face what's there. Pain doesn't vanish. It compounds, building pressure, drowning presence in noise. The system frays, not from their hurt, but from the choice to hide it, to run from it. Epictetus taught, "You are not your thoughts, but the one who observes them." Pain, it's a signal, not a master, not a chain. To suppress is to obey, to let it steer, to let it build unseen. To sit with it is to reclaim ground, to take back the system's edge. The mind can choose to breathe through the ache, to let it pass without fighting, without hiding. The action is raw. Stop running. Face the sting. Let it be without reacting. That's not surrender. That's detached strength. A cold, steady presence that holds without breaking. The urge to bury, it's strong, promising peace. A way to keep moving without falling apart. It lies. It delivers chaos. A slow unraveling of the system's core. Look closer. Every suppressed feeling repeats the same loss. Every push down, a step further from ground. The mind can shift from hiding pain to witnessing it, seeing it, without obeying it. Stop, breathe, feel without reacting. The reflex to suppress, it's not power. It's fear, a shadow that fades when faced. Pain doesn't mean truth. A woman stood in the shower. Tears mixed with water falling freely. She didn't fight them, didn't hide them. The pain didn't vanish, but it didn't own her. She stepped out, lighter, not because the hurt was gone, but because she saw it, held it, let it pass. The quiet returned, not empty, but clear. The urge to hide, it's a reflex, a quiet weight. But there's another, sharper, more reckless. The need to answer every slight, to meet hurt with hurt. Lesson 5. Reacting to provocation. A sharp word lands. The mind flares, hot and immediate. Their tone, their glance, their silence. It stings. A blade against the system's edge. The reflex surges. To strike back. To defend. To match their cut with one deeper, wreaked. It feels like justice, like reclaiming ground. It's not. It's a spark that sets the system ablaze, consuming stillness in its wake. The urge to answer every slight, it's loud, demanding, promising victory. It's not strength, it's chaos, a surrender to their noise. The cost is clear, but not in the heat of the moment. A quick reply, a raised voice, a message sent in anger. It feels like winning, like standing tall. It's not. It's loss, a handing over of control to their words, their mood, their indifference. The system spirals. Heart racing, thoughts tangled, clarity burned away in the rush to respond. The reflex to react, it's not power. It's slavery. A chain forged in the moment the mind leaps to answer. Their provocation, it's just noise, a fleeting signal. The harm, it's in the choice to amplify it, to let it steer. Marcus Aurelius said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Their words, they're fleeting, air that passes and fades." The mind's response, that's what lingers. That's what cuts. To react is to obey. To obey is to lose ground, to hand over the system's reins. The mind can choose to pause, to breathe, to let the sting pass unanswered, unheeded. The action is stark. Hold the tongue. Step back. Wisconsin TNESS. The urge without feeding it. That's cold peace, a quiet strength that holds without breaking. The reflex is loud. It screams for action, for a response to prove the hurt wrong. It says, "Speak now, or lose." Lose what? Nothing. Every reaction, a surrender to their frame, a choice to let their noise drown the system's silence. Every pause, a reclaiming of inner weight, a step toward freedom. The mind can shift. From answering their provocation to guarding its own stillness. Stop. Let their words fall. Let them fade. The reflex to react. It's not truth. It's impulse, a fleeting fire that burns out when ignored. You don't have to react. 90% of arguments spark from unpaused reactions. A single breath, held for a moment, could douse the flame, could keep the system steady. The need to answer, it's a trap, a spark that flares and fades. But there's another reflex, subtler, more consuming. The urge to unravel why they hurt, to chase the reasons that don't exist. Lesson 6. Overthinking the why. The mind spins. Why did they leave? Why did their silence fall so heavy? The question loops relentless, carving grooves in the system's frame. Their words, their absence, their choices, dissected, replayed, reimagined in the quiet of the night. Overthink. It feels like solving, like closing a wound with answers. It's not. It's a maze, a spiral with no exit. Each thought, a turn deeper into invisible chains, a pullback into pain that sharpens with every pass. The cost is heavy. Time vanishes, hours stolen by questions that don't resolve. Why didn't they explain? Why didn't they stay? The mind churns, digging for meaning, for a clue to make sense of loss. It finds none. Only anxiety, building like static in the system's core. The system stalls, energy drained, focus fractured, stillness buried under the weight of endless whys. The reflex to overthink. It's not insight, it's denial. A refusal to face the truth that their reasons don't matter, that meaning isn't owed. The truth is stark. Their why is a shadow, a ghost that leads nowhere. The mind seeks answers, but answers don't heal. To overthink is to chase. To chase is to lose ground, to let the system bend under a weight it doesn't need. The action is simple. Break loop. Close the thought. Breathe through the urge to question. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The why, it's imagination, a trap of the mind's own making. The now, it's reality, solid, present. Choose the second. Choose to S-E. The reflex pulls. One more thought, and it'll make sense. It won't. Each spiral, a step further from awareness. Each question, a knot tighter around the system's frame. The mind can reset, not by solving their silence, but by witnessing the loop, by letting the why dissolve like mist. Stop. Let the questions fade. Let the noise clear. The reflex to overthink. It's not truth. It's noise. A distraction from the quiet where clarity grows. The void is where it clears. A man sat, staring at a blank wall, mind racing with whys that led nowhere. He stood, walked away, left the questions unanswered. The silence didn't solve. It freed, opening space where the system could breathe, where stillness could take root. The spiral, it's a thief, stealing time, stealing presence. But there's another reflex, softer, more insidious. The urge to please those who don't see, to give what's not valued. Lesson 7. Pleasing the unworthy. A hand extends to bend, offering water to a closed fist, fingers tight and unmoving. The reflex is soft, to give, to adjust, to bend for someone who doesn't notice, doesn't care. A smile forced through a tight throat, a need silenced, a boundary crossed, all to keep them near, to win their glance. Please, it feels like care, like building a bridge. It's not. It's a leak, a slow drain on the system's core. Each effort to win their favor, a drop of inner weight spilled, a piece of self given to someone who doesn't hold it. The mind whispers, "If I give more, they'll value me, they'll stay." They don't. The fist stays closed. The cost is subtle, but it cuts deep. Each concession, a layer of shame, a quiet wound that festers unseen. Each sacrifice, a step further from ground, a loss of the system's steady frame. The heart carries it, a dull ache, an invisible scar that grows with every unreturned gesture. To please is to chase. To chase is to lose awareness, to let their indifference steer the mind's course. Their closed fist, it's not a puzzle to solve, not a challenge to overcome. It's a signal. Stop. Hold back. Keep what's yours. The reflex, to please, it's not love. It's surrender, a giving away of self to someone who doesn't see. The truth is cold. Water poured into a closed fist, spills, wasted, gone. Their worth, it's not tied to your giving, not measured by your effort. To please is to beg. To beg is to lose detached strength, to erode the system's core. The mind can choose to step back, to hold the line, to keep the water for itself, to nurture its own. The action is stark. Say less, give less. Breathe through the urge to bend, to mold yourself for their approval. Epictetus said, "Freedom is not gained by satisfying desires, but by removing them." That's cold peace, a quiet strength that holds without breaking. The reflex clings. One more try, and they'll see. They'll care. They won't. Each effort, a repeat of the same loss. Each gesture, a weight the mind doesn't need to carry. The system can shift, from pleasing their silence to guarding its own stillness, from chasing their nod to building its own presence. Stop. Keep the boundary. Hold the line. The reflex to please, it's not truth. It's noise. A shadow that fades when the mind turns inward. Not doing is power too. A woman gave years to someone who never asked, never saw. She stopped offering, turned away, kept her strength for herself. The silence spoke, not to them, but to her. She stood taller, not because they cared, but because she did. Because she saw her own worth in the quiet. The urge to give, it's a shadow, soft but heavy. But there's another reflex, colder, more primal. The fear of letting go, of stepping into the void. Lesson 8, fearing absence. Step away. Fear whispers. They'll forget. They'll vanish. The mind halts. What if absence erases everything, wipes clean what was? A reflex stias. Stay close. Hold on. Keep the thread alive. Avoid the void. It feels like safety, like holding ground. It's not. It's a cage, cold and tight. Each choice to linger, a knot around inner weight, a weight the system doesn't need. Fear drives, not truth, not reason. The system bends, not from their distance, but from the refusal to withdraw. Numbness spreads, clarity fades, buried under the pull to stay near, to stay known. The reflex to cling, it's not strength, not loyalty, it's denial. A refusal to face the space that absence brings. Their absence, it's not loss, not the end. It's space, raw and open. To fear it is to obey pain, to let it steer the system's course. To embrace it is to reclaim ground, to stand in the quiet without breaking. Epictetus said, "No one is free who is not master of themselves." Freedom, it's not in their memory, their presence, their care. It's in the choice to release, to let the thread go, walk away, not to punish, not to hide, but to see. Breathe through the pull, the cold grip of fear. The void, it doesn't destroy, doesn't erase, it clears, making space for stillness, for presence. The reflex to fear, it's not truth, it's noise, a shadow that fades when faced. Silence isn't surrender. The room is still. A man closed a door, not looking back, not lingering. The fear came sharp, cold, whispering of loss. Then it passed, fading into the quiet. He stood, not empty, but free. The system steady in the silence. The phone lies face down. No hum, no light, no pull. The room holds its breath. Nothing stirs but the air, slow and steady. A message unsent, a profile unchecked, a reflex held back, seen, let go. The quiet isn't empty. It's heavy with presence, a weight that grounds. The urge to react, to chase, to cling. It came, it passed, not gone, but witnessed, stripped of its power. The system steadies, not through their answer, not through their care, but through silence, cold and deliberate. What remains? When the noise stops, when the loops fade, the mind searches for reasons, for closure, for their nod, their presence. It finds none. It doesn't need to. Stillness. It's not absence, not a void to fear. It's ground, solid, unshaken. A single breath. A choice not to fall back, not to chase, not to fill the quiet with noise. What's left? When reaction fades, when the pull weakens, the void, it doesn't demand answers, doesn't demand action. It holds space for what's true, for what's now. Breathe through. No need to move, to prove, to chase. The quiet, it's enough. A presence that holds without breaking. The system doesn't need their voice. It needs its own stillness, its own weight. Stillness is its own weight.